Hey guys, welcome. Today's practice is designed for those times where it feels like we need a little bit more fluidity. I've been trying to get a little bit more back in touch with the rhythm of seasons and cycles. Things have been feeling really kind of straight and linear and this march forward on the to-do list. And so to pay attention to where things shift and change, right? The energy of winter can feel really different from the energy of spring or summer. And then even as cycles of the moon change, that our energy and our bodies might need something different. So for the times that we're feeling a little bit more rigid and we want to move out of that cycle, this will be a lovely practice to just create a little bit more of that space, fluidity within the cycle of it. So if you have a couple of blocks, you want to have one at the front and the back of your mat. If you don't, no worries. And we're going to start standing up at the front of our mats. And once you're there, you can start with feet hip width apart or big toes together to touch. Whatever helps you to find a little bit more stability to begin. And as you anchor down through your feet, tone through your legs, and then lift up through your chest, draw your shoulders back, create a little bit more room for breath. And if you haven't already, roll your palms forward. That in itself can give a little bit more space in chest and shoulders, which gives room for breath. And then just take a couple big cleansing breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Sometimes even a big sigh helps. And then seal your lips, begin to breathe just in and out through your nose. Find a rhythm that feels steady. And notice even that cycle of our breath has its own natural rhythm. Right? The fullness of the inhale leads directly into that cycle of the exhale. If Ujjayi breath, that more resonant sound of the breath, feels good for practice today, then do that. If not, just tune into that natural rhythm and cycle that moves with your breath. And then one more full breath in, big breath out. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead. And then exhale, slow fold forward, follow your breath down. You can bend knees here if that feels better. Strong legs. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway, open through your chest, tone your belly. Exhale, fold. Press your feet down. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Reach your arms up, get tall. Exhale, hands together at your heart. And just a couple like that to link breath and body together. Reach up, inhale. Keep length in your spine, hinge at your hips, fold forward, exhale. Press down into your feet as you lift and lengthen out through the top of your head, lift halfway. And then exhale, fold back in. And inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. And see if you can get your movement as fluid as your breath, right? So the inhale and the exhale and the movements all feel like one long cycle. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen forward, half lift, open through chest, lift your belly. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step your right foot back, bring your right knee down to your mat. A little bit more padding, fold your mat over. Inhale, bring both arms up, Anjaneyasana. And then hug your legs in. Lift up through your belly, let your hips settle forward. And then as your hips settle forward, reach up through your fingertips, up through your chest. And feel that rhythm of breath here. So let yourself create the foundation here. Even when we find that fluid movement, don't forget about the steadiness so that we have a place to come back to, a balance of the two. And exhale, hands down, lift your back knee, pivot your feet to the long end of your mat. Parallel your feet, point your toes straight forward. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Let your breath lead the way, even if it's all different from my cues. Press down into your feet. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Lift and lengthen halfway, inhale. This time on your exhale, bend into your right knee. And so we're going to stay in side lunge for this first variation instead of coming all the way down to Skandasana. And then just move with breath to center, inhale. To your left, exhale. All right, just find the depth of the bend that works for you. Come to center, inhale. And then back to your right. Let's feel the fluidity that we start to create in the hips. To center, to your left. And come back to center, inhale. Bring your hands to your hips. And then come all the way up to standing. And turn your toes out, heels in, and then bend your knees, come down for goddess squat. And then just take a moment to settle foundation here to line things up. And so we'll be here a few times for practice. You want to stack your knees over your ankles, and then your knees right down the center of your feet. So that might determine how far in or out you turn your feet. Good. Squeeze your heels together, and then strengthen from your outer knees to your outer hips. From there, bring hands to heart. Take a breath in. Breath out, let your hips settle maybe just a little lower. And press into your heels. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach your arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, bring your hands together at your heart. Good, just a couple times like that with breath. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bend knees, bring hands to heart. Let one movement just flow right into the next. Reach up, inhale. And then bend knees, hands to heart, exhale. Good, stand all the way up, reach up. This time pivot your right toes to the back of your mat. Slide your left heel back, bring your arms out wide. Inhale here. And then exhale, reach forward, come down triangle. Right, so here is a great place if you want a little bit more support, if you have a block, or just bring hand to shin. If it feels like when your hand comes to the mat that the whole upper body collapses, so give yourself enough space. And just take a moment, set the foundation. Right, so I think fluidity sometimes doesn't mean just moving from anywhere. Right, we want to set the range of, or set the foundation so we can get the range of motion from there. And stretch your top arm up overhead. And then just make a couple big circles, slow, with your breath, with arm and shoulder. That's a really great way to get some fluid moving in the joints, which might warm up our tissue and our joints in a different way than sometimes the more static holds. And then reverse directions. And then come back up again to arm overhead, stay. Press down through your feet, reach out through your fingertips, roll your chest open. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, circle your hands to the back of your mat. Step back, high plank. Inhale in high plank. And then exhale, either with bent knees or straight legs, come all the way down. Press the tops of your feet down. Walk your hands back by your low ribs. Take a full breath out. Inhale, lift up through head, chest, shoulders, cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. And use your breath. Inhale, float up. Stay anchored through the tops of your feet. Exhale, lower down. Good. One more lift, float up, inhale. And then exhale, lower down. Stretch back, child's pose. And take a couple of breaths here. And so I just invite you to notice as we practice, right, how maybe a little bit more fluid range of motion, right, that movement with breath throughout the practice might feel different. If it does, how it does. And then press into your hands, lift up and back, down dog. Inhale, come to your toes. Bend your knees, look forward, and then walk, step, or hop. Feet to hands, but to the back of your mat. Root your feet down. Inhale, lengthen, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Press your feet down. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Take a breath. Reach up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot back, left knee down. Inhale, both arms up, Anjaneya. Right, I know you're to the back of the mat. We're going to do the same thing. So if you can't see as well right now, no worries. Hug your inner legs, lift your belly. And then even in the stillness, to find a little bit of adjustment, fluctuation with breath. Right, so we can do that with the inhale, hug in. Exhale, let the hips settle forward. Inhale, reach up and back through your fingertips. As you exhale, stay anchored down through your foundation. One more full breath in. And exhale, hands down, lift your back knee, pivot your feet to the long end of your mat. You parallel your feet to set up the alignment, the foundation there. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Really press down through your feet and stretch out through the crown of your head. And then exhale, fold. Lengthen forward, lift halfway, inhale. Fold, exhale. One more, lengthen forward, lift halfway. This time stay, bend into your left knee, side lunge. And stay rooted down through your right foot. Come through center, inhale. And then to your right, exhale. And move your breath, your range of motion. Inhale. Exhale to your left. Back to center. And to your right. And come all the way back to center. Bring your hands to your hips. Press down. Inhale, come all the way up. And then toes out, heels in. Bend your knees, sit down, squat. Send the weight to your heels and then squeeze your heels together. Find that alignment through knees and hips and ankles. Start with hands together at your heart. Press down into your feet. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands together at your heart, bend your knees. And reach up, inhale, stay strong through your legs, soft and floating through your upper body. Exhale, bend your knees, hands together at your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees, hands together. Let's come up one more time, inhale. And then this time, left toes forward, right heel back. Exhale, open out wide. Full breath in. And then exhale, reach forward, come down, triangle pose. Block if you want it. Set strong legs, squeeze in. Stay a little soft through your front knee. Sometimes that front knee can get really rigid or locked out. And then around that softness, hug muscle to bone for support. Reach your right arm up overhead. And then same thing, just a couple big circles with your breath. See if inhale can take you all the way to hand reaching back, so really halfway around, and then inhale, come back up. So it's nice and slow. You can even feel then where the joint moves pretty fluidly, and then where it's a little stickier, reverse directions. Sometimes one side might be different than the other. As you come back with arm up overhead, pause. Press down into your feet, roll your chest open, reach out through your fingertips. And anchor down, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, circle your hands down to your mat, step back, plank. So now plank to the front of your mat, inhale here. Exhale, come all the way down. And tops of your feet down. Walk your hands back just so they're by your low ribs. Point your elbows back. Take a full breath out. Inhale, float up from the strength of your back body, cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. With your breath, find the right height. Maybe little, maybe a little bit higher. Exhale, lower down. One more, lift, float up. Exhale, lower. Stretch back, child's pose. Take a few breaths. Now my own practice can get a little linear sometimes. That I love that time in the pose to really stay and stabilize and strengthen, and adjust alignment. So if you practice with me often, you might also have that. I do think it's nice to explore different sides of that, right? Different energy that we bring to our practice and how it affects us. Root through your hands, stretch back down dog. Inhale, lift to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or hop. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Bring hands to hips. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Take a breath. Reach up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Slow and follow your breath. Lengthen forward, lift halfway. Inhale. Fold, exhale. Plant your hands, step your right foot back. This time keep your back leg lifted, low lunge. And if you want support with blocks here, you can do that, or even fingertips for a little bit more height. Stabilize your legs as you hug into center and tuck your outer left hip back. Take a full breath in, stretch from your back heel out through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, bring your front leg to or towards straight and fold your belly towards your thigh. And come forward with your breath, inhale. And then straighten and fold, exhale. This is one of my favorite ways to just get some fluidity moving in the hip joint. Inhale, bend, come forward. And then exhale, straighten, fold in. And then come forward again, inhale. This time though, as you exhale, pivot your feet to the long end of your mat. And can you see the cycle that we're starting to create? Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. One more time, lengthen forward, lift halfway, and then bend into your right knee. So you can stay here, side lunge. For a lot of us, that's a great variation for hips and knees and ankles. Or you can bend your right knee all the way, come down, skandasana, and point your left toes up towards the ceiling. Hands down to your mat will be a little more stable. Hands to heart will ask for a little more balance or a little more core stability. Good. And then we'll move with breath, right? So you can always bring hands back down if that feels like the better place to be. Inhale, come through center. Exhale to your left. And through center, inhale. To your right. See if again you can let it take that full length of your breath, each movement. To middle, to your left. And then back through center. Inhale, straighten both legs, fold forward. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way up. And then turn your toes out, heels in. Bend your knees, settle down, squat. Line up, hips, knees, and ankles. Sometimes you need a little bit wider, a little shorter stance. Good. And then this time, take your hands to your thighs. Squeeze your heels in. Strengthen the outer line of the leg. So squeeze from knee to hip. And then take a breath and lift up through your chest. So you exhale, dip your left shoulder across to the right. Come back through center, inhale. And then bring your shoulder across, exhale. Good. With your breath through middle, dip your shoulder across. Keep the outer leg strong so the inner knee just doesn't fall in here. Come back to center, and then dip your shoulder across. Good. Come all the way back to center, press down through your feet, reach all the way up, and then turn your right toes to the back of your mat, left heel back, open your arms out wide. Take a breath in. And then exhale, reach forward, come down, triangle pose. Anchor through your feet, stretch your top arm up overhead, roll your chest open. And you can find that rhythm with breath even in the stillness. Hug your heels together, inhale. Anchor down through your feet, exhale. Inhale, roll your chest open. And so that the poses just aren't always static. There's a little bit of fluid adjustments, alignment, arrangement within. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, reach your top arm up and back. So reverse triangle, keep your front leg straight to start with. You can keep your left hand on your thigh or wrap your arm around. Press your front foot down and forward. Stretch your top arm up and back. Take a breath in. And then nice and slow, exhale, bend your front knee. And inhale, bring it all the way back to straight. See if you can take the full length of breath. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale. This time stay here, strong legs, and then get light, float up and back with your upper body. Back up to center, inhale. Circle your hands all the way down to your mat. Step back, plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. The tops of your feet down. And then two choices here. Either stretch your arms back by your sides, palms down, or interlace your hands together behind your back. Take a full breath out. Inhale, lift up through head, chest, shoulders, and maybe legs as well, just depending on range of motion in your back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up, float up. Exhale, lower. One more, float up, inhale. Lower down, exhale. Hands by your ribs. Stretch back, child's pose. Take a few breaths. And I think by nature, we probably tend to be more one way or the other, right? We're really linear. Things are organized, they make sense, we move forward. And we tend to be a little more fluid, right? Maybe not as stuck in that forward range of motion. And there's really great benefits to both. It's just about finding the balance between the two when we need it. And root through your hands, press up and back, down dog. Inhale to toes, bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or hop. Lengthen forward, lift halfway, inhale, fold, exhale. Root down, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart, take a breath. Sweep up, inhale, fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, long spine, inhale. Fold, exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot back, low lunge. You can take right foot a little wider too, that might give more stability. Blocks if that would be helpful. Inner leg strong, outer right hip back. And as you inhale, lengthen all the way out through the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, straighten or work towards straight with your front leg and fold in. Inhale, come forward, bend your front knee, stretch the top of your head forward. And then exhale, fold, and let the top of your head hang, get soft, drape. Inhale, come forward, bend your knee. Exhale, fold. And then come forward again. This time, pivot your feet to the long end of your mat. You parallel your feet, point your toes straight forward. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Lift and lengthen, inhale, and then bend into your left knee, exhale, right? So same thing, you can stay here, side lunge, or come down skandasana. Hands to your mat for a little more support, or hands to heart. I'm probably gonna challenge balance and core a little bit more. With your breath, inhale, come through center. Exhale to your right, and then point your left toes up to the ceiling if you're in skandasana. Through center, inhale. To your left, exhale. Move side to side, your breath, inhale. Exhale, bend to the right. through the middle. Last one to your left. Come through center. Inhale, straighten your legs, fold forward, exhale. Bring hands to hips, press down into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then one more time, toes out, heels in, bend your knees, settle down, squat. Right, strong outer legs and hug your heels together. Inhale, bring your arms out wide. Exhale, cross, left arm underneath right, eagle arms. Inhale, stretch them back out. And exhale, switch right arm underneath left. With your breath, inhale out to T. Exhale, left under right, or whichever side, we're doing both. Out wide, inhale. And then right under left, exhale. Pause, settle down into your hips. Lift up through your fingertips. And inhale, stand all the way up, reach up. Exhale, left toes forward, right heel back, arms wide. Inhale. Exhale, reach forward and down, triangle. And just take this moment in triangle to stabilize the foundation. Right? Sometimes when we can find that first, we can allow the upper body or the rest of the pose to feel more fluid because it feels supported to the base. And reach your top arm up overhead and then roll your chest open, roll your ribs up. And keep your legs straight. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, reverse, reach up and back. Right hand down your thigh or wrap around your low back or thigh. Press your front foot down and forward, stretch back. Inhale here. Exhale, bend into your front knee. Inhale, straighten slow with your breath. Exhale, bend. And as you bend, press down into your front heel, traction it back. Use that for support. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Good. Pause, reach your top arm up and back. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, circle your hands down to your mat. Step back, plank. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, come all the way down. And then same options, hands straight back or interlace. And if you interlace, just take the opposite finger on top. Strong legs, take a full breath out. Inhale, lift up, head, chest, shoulders, maybe legs if that feels okay for low back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up, float up. Exhale, lower. One more, float up, inhale. Lower down, exhale. Plant your hands, stretch back, down dog. Oop, child's pose. Take a few breaths in child's pose. Walk your hands back, shift your hips off to the side, and then come all the way down onto your back. And then once you get there, bring your right knee into your chest, stretch your left leg out long. Flex your feet just so you have a little engagement in through your legs. And then just take a little range of motion side to side with your right knee. And that doesn't have to be big, it might just be an inch or two in either direction. Nice way to get a little massage and fluidity through the front of the hip joint. And then bring your right knee all the way across to your left for twist. Your right arm out to the side, like a T shape or cactus shape. And let your right shoulder anchor back at heavy. Roll your outer right hip away. And stay strong through your left leg. Sometimes we forget about that one here. And just notice where your breath is at now. Would help it all to slow it down a little bit. Does it feel even on your inhale and your exhale? And then come on back to center. Bring both knees into your chest. And switch sides. Left knee in, right leg long. Flex your feet. And then do the same. So give your left thigh a squeeze in towards your belly. And then just a little gentle range of motion side to side. Maybe a couple inches in either direction. Just notice what that does for the front of your left hip. And bring your left knee all the way across for a twist on this side. And if your knee doesn't comfortably come to the ground, if you have block or even a pillow there, that can be really nice for support. And take your left arm out to the side. It's a straight out like T, call that cactus shape, honestly about like goalpost shape, where the elbow is bent. It can be nice to create more of a straight line from your shoulder to your elbow to help get into the front of the shoulder here. And come on back to center. Bring both knees into your chest. Give them a good squeeze. Hug your forehead up to your knees. And then as you exhale, release. And take just a couple moments here in Shavasana. And set up what feels comfortable for legs. If regular Shavasana out long is good, great. If you want to bend your knees or find some support, then do that too. As you close your eyes, let your back body settle into your mat. Let go of any effort. So body and breath feel soft. Notice if things feel different at all. This is a little different style of practice, if that's different for you. I invite you to try these kinds of practices or just a little more fluid range of motion with breath, movement with breath. When things are feeling a little rigid in our bodies or in our minds or in our breath. And it may just be coming back to paying attention to where we're at and what we need to find a little balance. If you have longer and want to stay, please do. You're ready to come out. Take a full stretch. Reach your arms up overhead, lengthen out through your legs. And then draw your knees to your chest, roll to your side. Press yourself all the way back up to sitting. Bring your hands together at your heart. Lift your heart to your hands. Bow your head to your heart. Thank you so much for sharing practice today. Namaste.